welcome everybody to the Division 1 Championship edition of the weekly Extra Point Live Road Show. I am your host, Darren Basmadjian, obviously filling in for Mokan, who is preparing as we speak for his Division 1 Championship game. With me is Division 1/Division 2 analyst on the weekly Extra Point Live, Rehan Sarwar, or Server as he likes to be
called.
Or
the homie server.
Or the homie server, but like that's lower divisions. Right now you're just Rehan Sarwar.
Okay.
Obviously it's good to see you back on this stage, Rehan. It's been a while that we've been on together.
It's really been a while, and I was saying myself, and Mo's not there, who's the next person, and lo and behold, it's Darren Basmadjian.
Back in to fill the spot. So, Rehan, first off, thoughts on the season so far, D1, and how we got to these two teams?
I think pretty much, both teams were dominant all season long. Montreal's finest finished 9-1. Expos finished 7-3. There's a good common consensus these teams would reach the pinnacle and be facing each other at the finals. That's what we're seeing right now. I mean, we had the Demons who gave Montreal's finest a bit of a scare in the semifinals, but Montreal's finest are finally back on in the ultimate stage after 2 years of absence. So I think they're ready to go, and I think so are the Expos.
And if those names sound familiar to you, Montreal's finest and the Expos, it's because at least one of them have been in each of the last 6 Winter Division 1 Championship finals. Really an incredible streak. Montreal's finest made it to 3 in a row, finally winning the last one. And now we have Expos in their third one, trying to see if they can win this one. Let's talk a bit about what they did this season. They did split the season series. The Expos won the first game in Week 5 late, and then Montreal's finest won in Week 10 to clinch that first seed. So talk to me a bit about how that's going to affect their situation going into this game, those experiences earlier in the season.
Well, those who watched the press conference saw Teddy Fernet talk about the first game was more the game the Expos wanted to play, and the last game in Week 10 was a bit of a blowout, but some of the Expos players weren't there. Main player being Jeff Beauchene, who wasn't part of the game, and we all know how important he is to the Expos offense. So I think the Expos are not too much worried at all about the last game of the season. Obviously, what it came down to was it was for the division in which Montreal's finest finished first overall. But I think those two games are not at all indicative what's going to go down tonight.
And now, so let's start off with Montreal's finest. They got here by beating the Demons 41-40 in an overtime game that really seemed like a championship game. It was an excellent conference final, or semifinal, I should say, in Division 1's case. That type of game, do you find, Rehan, obviously newly minted champion, I forgot to mention, with Mongoose. When you've had a lot of experience, obviously you've won 4 championships. When you go through a game, a semifinal that's that big and that important and really seems that important, does that help you or hurt you going into the final?
I think with the Montreal's finest, that game really showed them that they're able to take that next step. Last couple of years, we saw them reach so close to the finals that they lost in the semis. And, I think this kind of game for Montreal's finest was really important. I think having won that game in overtime really showed to themselves that they're able to go all the way. But the thing is, as important a victory as that was for the Montreal's finest, I think it's not over yet. But I think that really helps them in giving them the momentum and maybe more confidence going into the finals.
Now, I mentioned off the top that Montreal's finest, the last time you mentioned as well, was the last time they were in the finals was over 3 seasons ago now, or that's it, 3 seasons ago. And it seems odd because we're always talking about Montreal's finest in the final, or as the best team, number 1 seed. They haven't been to the finals till now. So do you think that the pressure is too much for them, or why do you think that is that they consistently fell short, and what's different about them this season?
Honestly, it's really tough to say because as I spoke to Mokan, as he's a close friend of mine, obviously a White Belt analyst as well, I told him it's so tough to pinpoint how you can, describe the failure, if you even want to call it that, the last couple of years. First year it was a touchdown that they allowed on last play. Then it was a drop pass on the last play that could have won in the game. I mean, they go out and they add new players, and that helps them. But I think it was just one of those games where Division 1 is so tight now that it's just one play here and there and you lose. So Montreal's finest are always the favorites, but I think we underestimate the other teams that could always be at the same level as them.
And speaking of the new additions that they added in this past off season, they added Don Shepard and they added Roshdi Ben Abdelkader. Roshdi, obviously a Hall of Famer. Don Shepard, a guy who will be a Hall of Famer as well. And obviously they both have meshed very well. Don played with them in the DA finest team. Roshdi was supposed to play but got injured. But now they really had the full season integrated. Tell me what effect those two guys have had on their season, and if you think it gives them a chance to finally get back into that championship picture.
Well, I think it's a big effect. And with Roshdi, and actually speaking of Roshdi a bit later, speaking about Donald Shepard first, I never thought they had a big problem in the center. I thought they always were able to manage it well, whether it was Kareem Bennett snapping for them or whether it was Mike Harrington snapping for them. I think they were always doing well enough. So Don obviously still keeps and maintains that level of expertise in that position. But I think having Rusty was the biggest addition, because with him you're getting experience, you're getting clutch plays, you're getting so much leadership, and I think that is the extra step, is why I think they're in the finals and they beat the Demons by that close of a mark.
And the final thing before we jump over to the next team and go to the pregame interview that you conducted earlier, there's rumors flying around that Montreal's Finest is not at 100%. Do you have any details on that they've been under the weather or something like that?
I think, you always hear stuff on Twitter. Mokan's been on Twitter all week. You've been hearing other things around on what? You could say the ATP or source, or what you want to call it. But no, I think, Montreal's Finest, they seem like they were a bit under the weather. Some guys were sick. Some people had the flu. They were not 100%. But you can be assured that rest tonight, whether they're 100% or not, they're going to be good to go.
All right, from there, let's go to the interview that Rayhan conducted with a representative from Montreal's Finest earlier tonight.
Okay, I'm here on the field with Kareem Bennett, his team, and one of the most important pieces of Montreal's Finest. Kareem, I know you have some pre-game preparation, so I'm not going to take too long. Let's start with right away. You haven't been in the finals for 2 years now. Now you're back in the final, the big stage. An exciting win over the Demons. What is the mood right now on the team?
Oh, we're feeling great. We're excited. It's going to be a good game, and they're good. We're great. So let's see what's going to happen on the field.
And now, obviously, Chad Byers in the semifinals had a bit of easier win, 16 of 18 against Old School. They're riled up, and this is the first year they've really taken this seriously. So, at all, how do you slow Chad Byers' rhythm down?
It's going to be hard. He's a very good quarterback. We're going to play defense, and hopefully we're going to get the ball rolling our way.
And any reason why you ditched Keyshawn on the press conference?
I forgot about it. Sorry, guys.
Okay, well, we'll let Kareem get to his pre-game preparation. Good luck in the finals, and back to you, Darren.
All right, now we move on to the Expos, Rayhan. They got here by a different path. Montreal's Finest had a very difficult overtime win, as we discussed. The Expos did not have a very difficult win to get to this game in their semifinal. They defeated Old School, and the final score was 45-20, and it wasn't even as close as that. Really, this is a game where I think Old School forfeit in the second half because they only had a few guys, and it's really a weak title defense on their part, unfortunately. But we talked about how an overtime game can impact Montreal's Finest preparation and their mindset going into this. How does winning a game like this impact the Expos' preparation going into this game?
Well, I don't think it impacts them that much. I've said it, last 3 to 4 weeks, even before that one thing that's different about the Expos this year is they've really taken the flag league seriously. I think they've always realized that they've had the potential. A lot of the guys are outdoor players who've done quite well for themselves. And I think this year they're taking flag seriously. They want that championship. As you mentioned before, this is the third straight D1 finals. I don't think they want to be one of those teams that goes 0-3 in 3 straight years. So I think the Expos are not going to be affected at all by that game. I think they wanted to go out and win, which they did. Chad Byers was 16 of 18. You cannot get better than that, and I think they are not at all affected by that blowout of a win.
You mentioned it a little bit earlier. There are 3 championships finals in a row. This is their third. They fell short the first 2 times. First time against the Express, it wasn't very close. Then last year, a heartbreaker of a finish with a very controversial ending. Yeah. Was the flag off before he was touched or not? In any case, they came back to take the lead, and then they lost it. Really a very difficult way to lose a championship. How do you think that's impacted their play this season?
And I think that goes to what I was saying as well, that I think the Expos, they realized that the first year what happened was they were kind of coming back from an outdoor tournament from out of town, so they were tired, and obviously back then the Express were just loaded on talent with Seaman Sharp and Ocampo, so I think they were kind of just not in that game at all. Second year around, last year, I think they were ready for that game. Like you said, it was a close game with Old School, went back and forth, unfortunately, controversial play. But I think this year they realized, and this is why I think all year long they've been committed. They've gotten the guys there every game. They want to make sure they're on par, and I think they are more ready than ever to take this final step.
This is a team that had, statistically speaking, the best defense in Division 1. The Expos are. But they are facing an opponent that did have a lot of success offensively against them. They had, out of the 4 highest scoring games against the Expos this season, Montreal's Finest had 2 of them. And of course, they had the highest scoring game, which is where they put up 53 points in the last game of the regular season. So which defense do you think will show up tonight in this game? Will it be the defense that was, like I said, statistically the best in terms of points allowed in the season? Or will it be the one that Montreal's Finest had their way with?
I think you better believe they're bringing their A game tonight. As Teddy Fredette pointed out in the press conference also, that in the Week 10 game, you really cannot take that game for any measure because some of the guys were missing. They weren't really into it that much. I mean, they knew at that point they were in the playoffs, whether they got first or not. So, I mean, not to take anything away from the finals putting up 50-plus points, but I think the Expos know they're in the finals. They're bringing their A defensive game. Teddy Fernandez is going to have these guys rallied up, and he said he's probably going to cover their best receiver. So I think you're going to see the Expos A-plus defense tonight.
So you don't think it'll be a repeat of that Week 10 performance?
Not at all.
Not at all. All right, and the last guy I want to bring up is a guy like Ricky Martin, who can be an X factor in any game.
The singer?
No, not the singer. He could be an X factor in a different way. But the X factor for this game is the receiver, Ricky Martin, a guy who was statistically speaking, the best receiver for the Expos this past season in Division 1. But if you look last season, he did have some decent statistics too, and he's always a matchup nightmare, and he had 0 stats in the finals. What can we expect from him tonight?
I think you'll see Ricky Martin as you've seen him this season. I think he'll get more touches than he did last year in the postseason. But the thing here is that, you know, even the Montreal's finest, having Rajti, he knows how good Ricky Martin is. He's played with them, and now he knows that they have to stop him. So I think what it really comes down to is, even though Ricky Martin is not that big of a threat in the game, Chad is going to find other receivers. So I think Ricky Martin, you know, he will have his touches. I do believe as good of a defensive coordinator Rajti and Keyshawn Thompson are, I think Chad is going to find and get him open a little bit. But you might not see the same monster stats as we saw in Week 10, where we had 180-plus yards, I believe. But I think you'll see enough impact for this game.
Okay, now we'll go to the pregame interview that Rayhan conducted with the representative from the Expos, and then we'll be back with Rayhan's prediction for the finals.
I'm here with Pierre Iannicello. On est ici avec Pierre Iannicello sur le terrain avant la match de Division 1 finale. Pierre, je sais qu'il y a des préparations à faire, mais juste comme rapidement, c'est quoi le sentiment de l'équipe maintenant?
Ouais, on est quand même assez relax. On est habitué de jouer dans des types de matchs comme ça. What's up, Raj? Puis justement, on veut le plus possible s'amuser. Il ne faut pas oublier non plus que on n'est pas au niveau professionnel. Il ne faut pas oublier de s'amuser, c'est ça le plus important. Fait que l'ambiance est vraiment relaxe, c'est ça le plus important.
Mais l'affaire, c'est que c'est le 3e finale pour vous dans 3 années de suite. Qu'est-ce que tu dois faire maintenant pour la 3e fois que vous allez gagner, puis pas perdre pour la 3e fois?
Just give everything you can. That's it. T'sais, si tu perds, puis tu as tout laissé, tu perds en gagnant. Tandis que si tu perds parce que tu as hésité, ben tu as comme pas bien perdu.
Well, wise words from Pierre Iannicello, who seems to be in a very relaxed mode. And you have Rajti in the back doing some running back stuff, which is also very entertaining. But thanks again, Pierre. Merci, puis bonne chance dans le match.
Thank you very much.
All right, here it is, crunch time now, Rayhan. I'm going to ask you for your prediction in this game. Who do you think is going to win? Obviously, by product of that is who do you think is going to lose. Do you think our boy Mokan and our boy Don Shepard of the Weppel will come home with a championship? Or will the Expos finally get over that hill to climb? Will Chad Byers win his first championship as a quarterback? So who do you have, Montreal's finest or the Expos?
I would like to say time will tell, as Mokan always does. But I think as an analyst, you have to make a prediction. It's kind of very tough for me, to be honest. It really is a toss-up. As we mentioned, so many good points. Donald Shepard and Rashid Abdelkader have been great additions for Montreal's finest. But again, Expos have been really good all year long. They're taking it seriously for the first time I've ever seen them do. So it's tough, but I think I'm going to have to go with Montreal's finest and Mokan and Donald Shepard winning. The simplest advantage with Rashid Abdelkader. I said it even before the semifinals with Demons. He will be the difference maker with his experience, his leadership, his defense calling. And I think he, again, is going to be the difference in this game. And obviously, Kevin White will do what Kevin White does best. Montreal's finest will win a close one.
Underrated point. Rashti did play with the Expos 2 seasons ago as well. So there might be some knowledge there as well. Well, that's it. You've heard from us the pregame analysis, pregame interviews, and that's it from us now. We'll be back for the postgame. But right now, the Division 1 Championship Final, Montreal's finest, Expos, next. Welcome everybody to the Winter 2012 Division 1 Championship Final edition. We have Montreal's finest on one side and we have the Expos on the other side. And right beside me right now in the broadcast booth is FPF President Robert Campana. Rob, give me your thoughts on this game.
I'm very excited for this one. It's probably the 2 most exciting teams to watch in FPF. Chad Byers versus Kevin Wyatt. There's talent across the board on both rosters. Should be fun to watch.
And a lot of finals experience on both sides of the ball here. Expos, of course, this is now their 3rd consecutive Winter Division 1 Championship final game. Obviously, they were losers in the other 2. Montreal's finest, no strangers to being the top dog either.
Yeah, and what's funny is the Finest haven't been to the finals in FPF since 2009, winter 2009. So it's been a while for them. The Expos, on the other hand, as you've mentioned, have been here the last 2 years. The roster in 2010 was a little different, but they were here last year against Old School when they lost at on that crazy play, the last play of the game. So these guys are hungry for it.
Definitely, it'll be a very interesting one to watch, as either way, there will be a championship slump that is broken. It seems odd that we keep hearing about Montreal's Finest all the time, and yet, like you said, it's been so long since they've been in the final. What do they have to do here?
Well, the game they won last week in the semifinals was their first playoff win since 2009. And, it's just solid play on both sides of the ball. You know the way it is in D1. You come up with a few clutch stops. It's easier said than done against an offense like the Expos led by Chad Byers. But 1 or 2 stops might be the difference in this game.
And we'll have to see if they get those 1 or 2 stops. But first, we have Montreal's Finest starting off with the ball, and Kevin Wyeth is under center. And we'll have to see what's going to happen in this game as the Division 1 championship is about to get underway. And so now we see Kevin Wyeth lining up under center, gets a snap from Don Shepard, and the catch is caught by Don Shepard, 8-yard catch, and Pierre Iannicello on the tackle.
Yeah, and you're going to see that a lot today with Don Shepard. I mean, he's just a beast in the middle of the field. Don knows how to find his way into open space and catch the football.
How do you think? What can a player do to stop a guy like Don Shepard?
It's tough to match up on one-on-one. I mean, a guy like Don is so big; he knows how to box his defender out. It's more of a zone scheme you got to use against him, and your 2 inside guys kind of shading him on either side.
Well, as we see again, another look towards Don Shepard, who rumbles and bumbles and stumbles down for 9 yards. A 9-yard game. This time the tackle made by Adley Dufour.
And that's the thing, right? With both these quarterbacks, they're going to take what they're given. No one here is going to be forcing throws. So you see that both snappers, Jeff Beauchesne and Donald Shepard, will both be seeing a lot of the action.
And who else can we look out for on the Montreal's Finest offense, Rob?
Well, last week, 2 weeks ago, Aked Moore had a tremendous game against the Demons, putting up over 100 yards. This week, Teddy Fournette, who's the lockdown corner for the Expos, will be matched up on him, so we'll see how he does.
Wyeth under center, throwing down the sideline, out of the reach of Rashdi Ben Abdelkader. The coverage on him was Pierre-Olivier Brunet, another very solid defensive player for the Expos.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Peo has won Defensive Player of the Year, I think it was 2 years ago in Division 1. This year he was right up there again, and he's also the defensive play caller. So this guy knows what he's doing, both with the Maroons outdoors and here in Flag Plus, playing with the Expos for the last few years. He's definitely, just like Keyshawn Thompson is the guy who's the backbone of the defense for the Finest, he's really the backbone for the Expos.
Wyeth getting ready here to receive the snap. He's got it. He's kind of looking down the middle of the field. Pumps, gets Rashdi Ben Abdelkader short. He gets a 4-yard catch and the tackle by Iannicello again.
Yeah, and you see, like, Rajdi, similar to what we were saying about Don. These guys just know how to get open, and Kevin will take that underneath dump off any day of the week.
And one thing Rashdi does do very well is after the catch, he throws in those Rashdi patented spins.
Yeah, of course, but you'll see in D1, Rajdi usually won't get more than 4 or 5 yards if there's people in front of him. These guys know how to make tackles.
Well, we'll see now as Kevin Wyeth, as dangerous as he's ever been, now near the red zone. He's waiting for the snap. Got the snap. He's looking left, rolling right. Is he gonna? It's a scramble for a touchdown. Kevin Wyeth, and that is something we do not see too often in Flag Plus football, and especially not in Division 1.
Yeah, and you know what though, Darren, you're right. We don't see it often, but if you'll watch this replay, Ricky Martin actually jumped the gun, so he had to draw back behind the 7-yard beanbag. Kevin Wyeth, as the experienced quarterback that he is, as soon as he noticed that, he scrambled the other way, and he was either going to look for the open man or just take the yards that he had.
A very smart play by Kevin Wyeth puts the Finest up 6-0, pending this extra point. What do you expect to see going on from this, Rob? Was this what you expected from the first drive from Montreal's Finest?
Well, one thing it's a key note to watch for this, throughout the game is the Expos rushing situation. Now, last year Anthony Vandram rushed for them for most of the season and put up huge numbers. He was the best rusher in Division 1 by far. This year was more of a rusher by committee with Jeff Beauchesne, Ricky Martin, even Chad Byers getting in on the action, as well as Anthony Vandram. So we'll see who matches up best with Kevin Wyeth.
And good pressure on that one by Ricky Martin as Kevin Wyeth had to kind of force the throw out of the reach of Aked Moore. Extra point is no good, so the score is still 6-0 for Montreal's Finest as we finally get to see the Expos offense get on track.
Yeah, and Chad Byers is famous for saying, and I've heard this from Teddy many times, he tells his defense, get me 2 stops in this game and I'll win it for you. So we'll see here. So far, the Finest offense is 1 for 1.
And a pass down the right, on an out pattern for center Jeff Beauchesne. And as Rob, you mentioned earlier, Jeff Beauchesne and Don Shepard are 2 centers who will see a lot of action tonight.
Yeah, Chad Byers will definitely use a center. He's, Chad's offense is mainly based on running a lot of hooks, if not all hooks. That's what's made him famous, playing outdoor touch for all these years. Obviously, on the Flag Plus field, there's a bit less space. But Chad is great at scanning the field, probably better than any other quarterback, and he'll take what's available.
And Beauchesne is a big guy and a big target. He
Yeah,
can
that
box out
helps.
his defenders as well. As we see Chad Byers again to Jeff Beauchesne, who gets some yards after the catch as well, and he gets about 5 yards, and that will be a Expos first down.
And Jeff Beauchesne, as we learned in the press conferences, has been a big advocate of CrossFit training. So as we see him wheeling through the Montreal's finest defense there, he is a lot slimmer than he was last year, and at the size that he's at, and adding speed to his arsenal is definitely a big weapon.
And another big thing in his arsenal is that incredible snap. I don't think he snaps harder and faster than most QBs throw the ball.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we'll see Chad Byers now getting ready to corral yet another Jeff Beauchesne snap. He rolls to the right. He's got some running room. Shovel pass to the right on the sideline for Yves Berriot, who gets about 5 yards. And is finally pushed or tackled out of bounds by Keyshawn Thompson. A nice play pulling something out of nothing by Chad Byers.
Yeah, and I think Chad scrambled, you don't see that too often from a guy like Chad, but he runs towards the line of scrimmage, puts the pressure on the defender to either attack him, and whatever he gets, he'll take. Whether the defender drops back, he'll take those 5-6 yards rushing. There he decided to just, scoot it over to Yves Berriot.
And that brings up 2nd and 5 for the Expos offense as Chad Byers lines up under center, takes a snap, and hits Ricky Martin on the left sideline, and he gets a gain of about 4. That'll bring up 3rd and 1.
And let's keep an eye on Ricky Martin. The last time these two teams played, when Montreal's finest blew out the Expos, Ricky Martin was the lone positive note for the Expos. He had a huge game, over 10 catches, 100 yards, and if I'm not mistaken, 5 touchdowns. He absolutely shredded the finest defense, so we'll see how they contain him today.
And now we see Chad Byers getting ready. We'll see if he makes better use of Ricky Martin this time than he did in last year's finals, where he had no statistics whatsoever. Chad Byers with a pass to Alexis Charpentier, who gets a gain of 3 coming in from that right wideout position.
Charpentier is a shoo-in in this offense. He's one of Chad's favorite targets. I didn't mention him at the press conference when we were mentioning players on both sides, and Teddy Fournette made me hear about it afterwards, saying that Alexis really doesn't get enough love in this league.
Well, we'll see if maybe you can rectify that and give him some love as this game goes on. Chad Byers now gets a pass in. Touchdown grab by Anthony Vandram just in front of the end zone. Great play by him. And Vandram was a guy who was one of their better players in last year's final.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm a University of Montreal product. Anthony Vandram, if I'm not mistaken, he's the youngest guy on this more experienced Expos team. But he's definitely a solid player on both sides of the ball.
And you see the ball kind of got stripped out of his hands as he crossed the goal line, but the official basically decides that he did have possession, crossed the goal line, and after that it was done.
Yeah.
So it is now a tie game, 6-6. We'll see if the Expos can get the lead on this extra point.
And one thing I want to keep an eye on, Darren, is just the way that the two teams march the ball upfield. Now, usually with the finest, they're a bit more of a quick strike offense, whereas Chad Byers is more of a quarterback, will kind of take what's given, methodically drive the ball downfield, so we'll keep an eye out for that.
As Keyshawn Thompson intercepts that extra point attempt, it is no good, so we now have a tie game at 6-6. As we see Montreal's finest second drive. Rob, you mentioned earlier how important it is for the Expos to try and get 2 stops so Chad Byers can get them the win. We'll have to see what Montreal's finest is going to do on this upcoming drive as Kevin Wyeth looks to rebound from a pretty subpar outing in his earlier championship game with one-night stands.
Yeah, I mean, Kevin Wyeth in D2 is one guy, and Kevin Wyeth in D1 here with the finest is another. I'm sure he was able to flush that out of his system.
As he moves the pocket, rolls deep to Marc Champagne, who gets tackled into the end zone. Not really an intentional tackle, but still a great burst of speed. And Marc Champagne is one of those guys who, if he's got to step on you, it's over. He's going to catch that touchdown.
And there's
every
a quick
time.
strike offense I was talking about, Darren. Just like that, Marc Champagne stretches the Expos defense and catches reels in a 40-yard touchdown.
And now it is 12-6 for Montreal's finest. Kevin Wyeth showing no ill effects from that earlier game. It's like you said, a different team, a different quarterback in this situation.
Yeah, Wyeth's been around. He's a seasoned vet. I'm sure he was able to flush out that game as quickly as he would have if they would have won the thing.
So now 12-6, Kevin Wyeth looking for Roche Benam to count in front of the end zone. He gets it. And he catches it and makes his way into the end zone before he is deflagged. And the score is now 13-6, Montreal's finest.
Yeah, nice grab by Rajdi there.
Definitely been an offensive game so far. No surprise. That's Division I football. That's usually how it goes. Basically, the first mistake might be the source of victory for one team.
Yeah, absolutely. And just like I said, Chad Byers tells his defense that. I'm sure Kevin Wyeth is saying the same thing on the other side.
With the difference being Montreal's finest do have a lockdown defense. Expos, a bit more of an unknown commodity in this league.
Yeah, but I think from week to week it varies, right, with the talent on both sides of the ball.
And now we see Chad Byers trying to reply. He has a pass. I'm not sure who that was intended to. Some kind of miscommunication with Ricky Martin.
Yeah, I think with Ricky Martin, Chad was expecting him to flow out a little more towards the sideline, and Ricky just hooked on a button there.
Well, you got to be careful there. Miscommunication, like I said, smallest mistake could be your undoing, especially in Division 1 where the margin for error is so very, very small.
And both these teams have been playing together for so long, both indoor and out. You could see the cohesion and just the chemistry that both teams have with their quarterback.
And Chad Byers looks to the right sideline. Great grab by Alexis Charpentier, who gets about 7 yards before he is deflagged by Karim Bennett.
Yeah, and you'll see, just as I mentioned earlier, Darren, when you see those hook patterns, and we see it here from the high view, you can see all these guys hook at 6, 7, 8 yards, and Chad Byers will just scan the defense, see what's given to him, and take it.
That's what's very impressive about Chad Byers. He really makes his progressions very, very quick. So as a rusher, you kind of don't have much that you can do. He'll get that ball out quick.
Yeah, and with a rusher like Mo Khan, he might not get there as quick as some of the other rushers in Division 1, but the advantage that Mo brings is he'll lock down the center of the field better than some of the smaller ones do.
And there's Ricky Martin coming in with a 6-yard catch, bringing up a... And now, as they have just put on the touchdown, the score is 13-12 for Montreal's finest, and the Expos will be going for one in an attempt to tie this game. Chad Byers waiting under center for the snap, and he's got it. Goes deep down the middle.
Oh, there might be a flag there on Keyshawn Thompson.
Looks that way to me.
Yeah, there it is.
Yeah, a little too physical there.
Well, Beauchene can climb the ladder, higher than most guys. So you got to try to do your best to keep him down. But I think Keyshawn, he wrapped up around Jeff a little more than the referees would permit him to.
All right, so now the Expos will get another chance at the extra point.
Yeah, and they'll be going for 2 here from the 5-yard line. So they're looking to take the lead.
Yeah, it's an interesting situation here. That flag could end up hurting Montreal's finest. They have to be very, very careful in this situation. Like I said, any mistake can be critical. As Chad Byers lines up under center, receiving the snap from Jeff Beauchene any second now. He's got it, looks to the right, and he's got a wide open Yves Berriot on the right side of the field.
The first Expos lead of the day.
14-13 is the score for the Expos right now after that 2-point conversion. A big part of that was, of course, that penalty by Keyshawn Thompson gives them their first lead of the day. And now we have Montreal's Finest looking to respond as we have Kevin Wyeth getting ready to get the snap. He surveys the field, looks to his left, and the pass is caught by Rashid Ben Abdelkader. Starts spinning. As you said, Rob, the spins will work a little bit, but not too much.
Yeah, and it's important to see through, just watching a lot of these D1 games over the season. Guys like Pierre Yanincello on the Expo side and Rajdi, these guys are great at finding the open slot in the zone, Darren. Most of the times you'll see they're not even running a legitimate route. They'll just find the open space, sit there, catch the ball, and get as many yards as they can.
And that is why Rashid Ben Abdelkader is one of Flag Plus Football's inaugural class of Hall of Famers as he racks up 26 yards on that reception. And now it brings up another first down for Montreal's Finest as Kevin Wyeth looks over the middle of the field, caught by Nathan Taylor right over the middle of the field for a 14-yard touchdown grab. Scores 19-14, Montreal's Finest.
And it's nice to see Nathan contribute. If you've been watching any D3 action this year with the Briscoe High Hawks, Nathan was a huge contributor on the offensive side of the ball. We don't see it too often in Division 1, obviously with all the ball distribution going on, but it's nice to see Nathan Taylor show off his speed here in Division 1.
Well, it's also not just distribution. It's just if you look at the talent, you have some of the best receivers in all of Flag Plus Football. Hard to crack that line, but definitely Nathan Taylor running a good route. He's got speed to kill, so that was a good play for them. Montreal's Finest going for 2-point conversion on this one. As Kevin Wyeth throws, it is intended for Rashid Ben Abdelkader, but great defense by Adli Dufour, and so the extra point is no good. The score is still 19-14 Finest.
And there's a name I was looking forward to hearing for the first time this game. Adli Dufour, very, very underappreciated in this league. You're not going to see him put up many stats. That's mostly attributed to, as the Expos will accuse him of having the worst hands in Division 1, but he's an excellent cover corner. You match him up against a big, fast, tall receiver, and you'll be able to lock him down for the most part.
And he did a great job on defense on Rashid Ben Abdelkader on that extra point. Expos looking to respond as Chad Byers gets the ball. He looks right over the middle to Jeff Beauchesne. That is a name that is not surprising to hear at this point. He is rumbling and stumbling down the field. I say it over and over again, but I shouldn't say it because that guy has lost some weight, as you mentioned, with his CrossFit addiction, I should say.
But it's rare that you see, you see Keyshawn Thompson miss the flag there, which got Beauchesne another 7 or 8 yards, which is something you don't see too often.
Definitely, Montreal's Finest has some very good tacklers, and another one of those tacklers was Kareem Bennett, who did get the tackle on that one. Chad Byers gets a snap, running to the right. He holds up, throws to his left. Very unorthodox play as Jeff Beauchesne makes yet another catch for 3 yards and the first down.
Yeah, I wonder if that was a design play. Probably not. I think there may have been a miscommunication. You don't often see Chad do something like that. He may have rolled right, didn't see what he liked, and just cut back, saw Jeff Beauchesne.
Well, I'll tell you what he saw coming towards him was Mokan and Kareem Bennett running right at him. So I guess he decided, this is not happening for me on the right side. Let's go left.
A great play by Chad nonetheless, right? To make something out of nothing.
Yeah, definitely. And another pass to Jeff Beauchesne, his 3rd reception in a row. That one goes for 4 yards, and that was on first down, bringing up 2nd and 6 for the Expos offense.
Yeah, he may have got away with a flag guard there, too.
Those types of things can happen.
That's a big paw to go down there. And
yeah. Well, it's also the speed of the game, and D1, it's very hard to catch all these little things, and I think you'll see those types of things on both sides. Expos now, Chad Byers delivers the ball to Alexis Charpentier, who picks up 8 yards, and their offense is really humming at this point. Completion after completion after completion. That is 4 completions to start off this drive, and now they have themselves a first down after that 8-yard catch by Alexis Charpentier.
Yeah, and just like I was mentioning about Rajdi and Pierre Yanincello not really running, specific routes when they're in open field, but when they're close to the goal line, this is when you see these route runners really show up, because it's not about speed down here. It's about elusiveness, getting open, double moves, triple moves. Keep an eye out for it.
Now, again, Beauchesne, and you saw Beauchesne almost just find that little zone, wave his hand and say, hey, I'm open. So Chad Byers gets it right to him, and that is a 4-yard grab on first down, bringing up 2nd and 6 for the Expos offense.
And what a weapon for Chad. You see, adding a guy like Jeff Beauchesne to your arsenal on offense. Mokan, who's rushing for the Montreal's Finest, probably has a good 6 inches on Chad Byers, so you would think that there wouldn't be many plays over the middle of the field, but it's been the opposite. Jeff Beauchene's been catching 50% of the balls here for the Expos, so it's definitely a huge weapon to have a guy like Jeff Beauchesne, who's over 6 feet 5 there, patrol the middle of the field.
And that is the 5th straight completion for the Expos offense as Chad Byers gets the ball here. Will we see him break a completion record? It does not look like it. I was referring to the Rich Gannon completion record set on Monday Night Football. I don't think we'll be seeing 22 in a row in FPF, but still 5 completions in a row was good. That one broken as he was going for Anthony Vandram in the back of the end zone.
In that same corner, right, that he was looking for Ricky Martin earlier in the game. And it seems like Deli and Charles' size and cover skills are really locking up that left side of the field for the Finest.
And this brings up 3rd and goal, and there are 5 plays left in the first half. Chad Byers now getting ready to receive the snap, and he does. He's looking to the left, pumps to his left, goes deep again. That same corner, Ricky Martin. Does he get both feet in? We're waiting for the call.
It looks to me, Darren, like he had both feet in, but if we're going to see it on the replay, he looked like he ran out of bounds and came back in. And in flag plus football, it's actually not a penalty. It's just ruled an incomplete catch.
Okay, well then that seems to be the call, as referee George Latter was explaining earlier that he did run out of bounds on the left sideline. And you see Ricky Martin not really arguing the point either. I think he knows.
A nice pat on the stomach there for George.
And that brings up 4th and goal with 4 plays left. This would be huge momentum turner for the Expos offense as Chad Byers prepares to receive this very important snap. He looks to his right. He goes over the middle, and it's caught in
great throw.
And in traffic with Keyshawn Thompson trying to get a finger on that. He was not able to. Great concentration by Yves Berriot getting a touchdown in the same spot where he caught an extra point earlier this game as well.
And if you're here on a flag plus field where it's already smaller than the outdoor field, and in Division 1 with the speed, you always hear, Darren, that the windows are very small. It's an expression you'll hear used a lot. That's a perfect example. A very, very tight window to get that ball through to Yves Berriot, which Chad Byers was able to do.
And that's why Chad Byers is who he is, one of the best quarterbacks that we have seen in Flag Plus football. Score is now 20-19 for the Expos. We have an extra point coming up, and then there will be 3 plays left in the half for Montreal's Finest to try and get something going. Usually you wouldn't expect them to, but in D1, anything's possible.
And you know what? Pending this extra point here, and we'll watch it happen. And as we see, it's no good, so the score remains 20-19. Darren, these 3 plays are huge. If the Expos, if I'm not mistaken, no, Montreal's Finest did start with the ball, so the Expos will start with the ball in the second half. A score here in these last 3 plays would be huge for the Finest. You don't want to give the Expos a chance to get the stop here, take that momentum into the second half with them starting with the ball.
Well, like I said, 3 plays is not a very long time to get a touchdown. It's not many plays, but then again, in D1, sometimes all it takes is 1, as we see Kevin Wyeth getting ready to try and do some damage for this Finest offense. As he looks to his left, a pass over the middle to Don Shepard, incomplete.
Broken up by Peo Brunet there.
Brunet getting the pass defense statistic on this one. And Don Shepard kind of already backing up before it came to him. Brunet doing just enough to get it out of his hands. And that will bring up 2nd down with 2 plays left. And 2nd and 10 at their own 10-yard line for Montreal's Finest.
And we'll see an experienced quarterback like Kevin Wyeth here. Look for a pass that's at about 10 to 15 yards. Try to get a decent shot for that last play of the half. I would be surprised to see Wyeth go for it all here on the second to last
Well, we'll
play.
see what he does as Kevin Wyeth looking deep down the sideline. Mark Champagne all alone as he saunters into the end zone with a 40-yard touchdown grab. What an incredible turn of events for Montreal's Finest, Rob.
Yeah, well, just basically made me look bad on my prediction there. But as the Expos, you got to wonder, how do you let a guy like Mark Champagne, who you know is a deep threat, get behind you with 2 plays left? There had to have been some kind of coverage breakdown there.
There absolutely must have been, because like you said, he's not the kind of guy you forget to cover. Now Montreal's Finest is going for 2 points to put themselves up 7. It is 25-20 as Kevin Wyeth receives the snap, and he's looking over to the left side, and it is caught and put in by Keyshawn Thompson. Caught it really right on the front lip of that goal line, and he just pivots those hips, and he's in the end zone for a 2-point conversion. Montreal's Finest up by 7.
Big 2 points, Darren. Big difference between a 5-point lead and a 7-point lead in this game.
Absolutely. It is now a full score, making it that much harder for the Expos to put themselves in tying position, as there is 1 play left in the half right now, as you see on your screen. The Expos, I mean, we saw some crazy stuff in last year's finals.
Yeah, and we also, earlier on this season, Darren, I believe it was in week 4, Finest Expos, last play of the game, Chad Byers was able to find Jeff Beauchesne in the back of the end zone to give the Expos the win on that last score. So we'll see if they can recreate some of that magic here.
So Chad Byers eagerly anticipating this snap, waiting, looking at everything right now.
And you'll see that Karim Binet will be rushing here. Like, they're trying to get a speed rush on Chad, not give him enough time to get the ball down.
And he chucks it down to the left side of the field. Does not look like it'll have distance. Champagne gets the interception. He could go. Well, it doesn't matter even if he had gone. I think there was going to be a flag guarding call on that one, but still an interception.
Yeah, so you'll see the speed rush. What the Finest is trying to do here with getting Karim Binet on the field to rush Chad Byers is, that extra second that Chad would be able to have with Mokan rushing him would give the receivers a bit more time to get downfield.
Smart play by the finest defense, who literally in this league have seen and done it all at this point. The halftime score, as you see on your screen, is Montreal's finest 27, Expos 20, and we will be back relatively soon after a halftime report by our own Rehan Sarwar.
Was a halftime between the Montreal's finest and the Expos. The score right now is 27-20. Mark Champagne had a huge touchdown and interception at the end of the half, which gave Montreal's finest the lead. But Expos will start the second half with the ball, so they have a chance to tie the game. And this is a crucial series for them now. So back to the game.
Well, thank you, Rehan Sarwar, for that informative report. We are back here with the second half as the Expos will be starting off with the ball offensively this time. Rob, what are your thoughts on that first half?
Well, there hasn't been much defense so far, Darren, and we've kind of expected it. So it's going to come down to possibly just one stop here in the second half. Who's going to make the play?
All right, well, the score is 27-20 for Montreal's finest as Chad Byers looks deep down the right side of the field, and that is almost intercepted by Nathan Taylor. And that pass seemed like it was more towards Nathan Taylor than anybody else.
Yeah, and you know what? It's similar to what I spoke to earlier in the game. That was a backside, I guess it's you can call it a hard post coming from Ricky Martin. And Nathan Taylor did a great job of dropping back from his safety position despite the fact that Ricky was coming from the other side of the field to be there.
It was a great read by Nathan Taylor, who is, of course, a CIS talent, so there's no surprise there. A good play by him, not able to pull off the interception, though. Chad Byers now looking to his left side, and he gets a pass off to Yves Berriot, who will gain 14 yards on the reception. Nathan Taylor with the tackle.
Yeah, and you see Berriot, just a great shift there. A couple nice moves to evade the finest defense.
And a good job by Nathan Taylor coming up from his position and being, attacking and going for that flag.
Absolutely.
And so now we will see as the Expos offense lines up. They will be going on first down after that 14-yard catch by Berriot as Chad Byers is looking down the field, looks to his right, and it is a pass over the head of Alexis Charpentier on that right sideline. Nathan Taylor in coverage. Third time in a row we've heard his name.
Yeah, and Taylor's been all over, he's been all over the field, really, and Chad Byers tried to paint the sideline on that throw, but there just wasn't enough space for it.
Bringing up second down and 10 yards to go for the Expos offense. And Chad Byers is waiting for the snap, surveying the coverage as he awaits Mokan coming down on the rush. And it goes just to the left side of the center. Ricky Martin gets the catch for an 8-yard gain. That brings up 3rd and 2 for the Expos offense.
And Chad Byers is doing an absolutely great job of just distributing the ball across the offense. We've heard from everyone on this offense so far. Can't say the same about the finest and their offense.
Definitely not. The finest is they've gotten a lot of quick plays as well, Rob.
Yeah.
So it hasn't given them the chance. Chad Byers pumps to the left, goes to the right, wide open on the sideline is Alexis Charpentier, who gets 6 yards, and that will bring up an Expos first down.
Yeah, of course. And just to build on the point that I was making earlier, it's not necessarily a knock on the finest. Of course, if Mark Champagne will be open for every play of the game, you're going to hit him. I mean, it is what it is. But it is a credit to the Expos that all 5 of the receivers out there on the field are making plays.
And really, the Expos haven't been going deep too much or connecting deep too much in this game. It's really been slow and methodical, but it doesn't matter how you do it as long as you get the score. Chad Byers now near the end zone, really in the red zone, I should say, waiting for the snap. Looks like he's kind of waiting for some kind of signal, and now he's getting ready for the snap. Rolls to his right slightly, basically hits that big thing on the wall near the exit.
Looks like Chad was just throwing the ball away there.
Yeah, I don't think he saw anything that he liked, and he realized the situation that that brings up. As he's still got some downs to use, and there's no sense in trying something risky and getting intercepted. So that will bring up a second down situation, 2nd and goal for Chad Byers and the Expos offense. And as we see Mokan always verifying that he's at the 7-yard line. Chad starting left, rolling to the right. Is he going to run? No, he throws it. And surprising everyone, including Yves Berriot, with that pass. And as we see, that's the 3rd time Yves Berriot has been open in that area of the field.
Yeah,
that's something the finest got to adjust to.
Yves Berriot has been doing a great job of getting open in the red zone. They're finding those tight windows to get open into. But it looks like he was just caught by surprise there. I think he thought that Chad Byers may have been past the line of scrimmage. He kind of took his eyes off Chad the second he released it.
Yeah, and just not quick enough reacting to that, or it could have been a touchdown. Bringing up 3rd and goal for the Expos offense. Chad Byers moving to the left, stutter stepping, and that is a pass that falls incomplete. Great coverage by Delien Charles, and the intended receiver being Anthony Vantram.
Charles has played an absolutely terrific game so far, Darren. You see that left side of the field has just been completely locked up, whether they've been trying to go over the top to hit guys like Ricky Martin in the corner or those quick outs there like you just saw now. Delien's been there to make the play.
Well, that will bring up 4th and goal on the 5-yard line for the Expos. This will be a big turning point. We said it before. You cannot turn over the ball in Division 1. This is a big opportunity for either team. We'll see who steps up big as Chad Byers receives the snap. He's looking over the middle. Mokan with the bat. Mokan bats down the ball as Montreal's finest defenders erupt and congratulate him. A big play for the Montreal's finest, getting a stop and a turnover on downs.
Absolutely. Huge play by Mokan. And he's made his business throughout the season, deflecting passes from guys like Carmen, Chad Byers, Ryan Kastner, and he just comes up huge here when he has to, making that big play.
And you said it yourself. Might not be the fastest rusher in the league, but he clogs up those lanes, makes the passes harder, and he has the long arms, bats that ball back. And we'll see if Kevin Wyeth and the finest offense can take advantage as he goes to his left side to Rashdi Ben Abdul Kader on the left sideline on first down, gain of about 6 yards.
And again, now you can see that the finest, the momentum has definitely swung to their side. That big play by Mokan gets them the ball back with a chance to go up by 2 scores, which neither team has had the opportunity to do thus far in the football game. We'll see if the finest can capitalize.
We said it would be the first mistake that might turn this. We'll see if that's the first one. Not so much a mistake, but just a great individual play by Khan and good coverage by the Montreal's finest defense as well. Kevin Wyeth now looking to his right side, hits Nathan Taylor, trying to gain some yards after the catch. Not able to do so as Pierre Iannicello comes up with a nice tackle, gain of only 2. And
again, I'm going to bring up the Division 3 Briscoe High Hawks offense. If you watch any of those games, you'll see that Nathan Taylor runs a lot of those. I can't say the name of the route because on the football circles it's known as the FU route, where basically Nathan Taylor just sticks his foot in the ground, turns around, sticks his hands out, catches the football, and tries to get as many yards as possible. He was stopped quite short though there.
And that brings up 3rd down as Kevin Wyeth hits Rashdi Ben Abdul on the left sideline. Gain of some yards, the patented Rashdi spin move, and he's got 19 yards. Rashdi has been a big target for Kevin Wyeth all game so far.
Absolutely, and again, we see the Expos not taking the chance to force a 4th down there. If Kevin Wyeth is incomplete on that pass, who knows? We might see Montreal's finest punt.
Yeah, so this brings up a new set of downs for the Montreal's finest offense. Obviously, things going their way after that turnover on downs in big part thanks to Mokan's bat down, but also great red zone defense by Montreal's finest.
And just to build on that, Darren, this drive right here from the finest is definitely the drive of the game.
And here we go now as Kevin Wyeth looks over the field. It's batted to himself.
Oh, what a play.
Jeff Beauchesne in on the rush. As you said earlier, no set rushers for the Expos, but Jeff Beauchesne maybe kind of imitating Mokan there. They brought in some height. He gets in the lane. Look at this. Bats it to himself.
And terrific play by Jeff Beauchesne.
Really an incredible individual effort by Jeff Beauchesne. Kind of breaking down in front of Kevin Wyeth.
You see in the replay, and he does a great job of not interfering with Kevin Wyeth, which is tough to do. Just puts his hands up, deflects it up to himself, and makes a huge interception on what we had said, Darren. If the finest would have scored there, it likely would have been it for the Expos. Huge play by Jeff Beauchesne.
And now the Expos have good field position as well, and that brings up 1st down at about midfield for Chad Byers, and that is not what you want to see if you're a Montreal's finest player. As he hits Pierre Iannicello with a 10-yard completion on the right.
Yeah, and the Expos are still down this game, but they definitely have the momentum after that big play on defense.
And so now that brings up a 1st down after that 10-yard gain, and the Expos are inching ever closer, and they know that if they score here, they have an opportunity to tie this game, Rob.
Absolutely, and I mean the pressure is still on the Expos because they know they didn't score on their last drive. They have to score here. They can't give the finest another chance to go up by 2 scores.
So here we go now on the 1st down attempt as Chad Byers looks again to that left corner of the end zone. He's been going there quite often, but with very little success.
The coffin corner, we'll call it. The Delien Charles coffin corner.
Definitely, he's been doing a great job in coverage. There has been no openings, and you kind of wonder what Chad Byers is seeing there, continuously going there, because it doesn't look like the receivers
are absolutely.
open.
I mean, there's not much space on the football field. You see it's kind of like an ISO route there where it was just simply Delien and Ricky Martin. You're not asking Delien to pick between an over and an under, but of course, who am I or who are you to challenge what guys like Kevin Wyeth and Chad Byers are seeing on the football field?
Well, I don't know about you, but I'm a Division D champion.
I am not.
Okay, well, that brings up 2nd down, and Chad Byers getting ready to try and punch that in as he goes to Ricky Martin. Nice catch. Was it? I'm not sure if they're going to call that a catch or not. Might see on this replay as Ricky Martin gets it. Oh, bounces off It bounces out of his hands as he hits
Looks
the
like
ground.
it
Yeah.
looks to me, Darren, like he did not have possession.
Yeah, as you can see, as he hit the ground, the ball
The
kind of
referees are
popped
going to
out.
converge here and speak about it, and we'll see what they decide.
Yeah, it should be interesting, but to me, I would have to agree with you as well, Rob. It looked like he kind of had the ball, and then as soon as he hit the ground, bounced out, and that seems to be the call
we
from
see-
the
yeah.
officials. And that will bring up a big third down, as of course they are in fourth down territory here. Expos got to line up a good play here to try and punch it in and potentially tie the game. Chad Byers receiving the snap, looking to his right, and he hits Yves Berriot on the right sideline. Looks like he's held just shy of the goal line. And yes, you can see it on that replay. He's just short, maybe on the 2-yard line. And that brings up a huge fourth down. Last time they were here, this did not end well for the Expos.
Seems like we've been here before, Darren.
Not too long ago, just a couple minutes ago, it was 4th and goal in this same situation for Chad Byers. We will see if he can be more successful as he takes the ball looking for the snap. He's holding Mo Khan with the big sack as Chad Byers was stepping up in the pocket trying to hit someone. Mo Khan comes up with the biggest flag of his career.
Great job by Mo Khan on 2 consecutive drives there where they're down in the red zone. Last time it was a pass defended. This time it's a big quarterback sack. You see Chad Byers here just try to, pull a little quick move to get right by him. Great play by Mo Khan at a huge, huge time of the football game.
And that is definitely going to fire up that Montreal's finest offense. You got to figure after the mistake they had in their prior drive where they get the turnover on downs and then the interception by Jeff Beauchesne, they have to be very careful now. They cannot give the Expos life again.
Yeah, and you got to think that the finest definitely they gave the Expos a second life last time. They're going to be looking to put the nail in the coffin here.
Oh my God! It's batted away again, almost intercepted or caught by Kevin Wyeth. Both the rusher and Kevin Wyeth had an equal opportunity at the ball.
Yeah, and there's Yves Berriot who steps in at the rusher position after Jeff Beauchesne made the great play the last drive.
And Yves Berriot is another guy who kind of doesn't get too much praise or isn't talked about too much, but he's had an incredible game so far.
He has. You see the red zone route running that he's got that excellent cohesion with Chad. Obviously, barring that one play where there was that miscommunication, but that play seems to be looming quite large right now.
And now Don Shepard, we haven't heard his name in a while, but he gets a quick pass from Kevin Wyeth and rumbles down the field for about 6 yards, I should say.
And I like watching Don Shepard play for the simple reason that he at the end of each flag football game, it looks like he just came out of a heavyweight bout. Don Shepard knows how to use his body, gets elbows, gets forearms. Obviously playing center in Division 1, you're going to take a bit of a beating in the middle of the field, but no one takes it better than Don Shepard.
And Don Shepard gives quite a bit of a beating as well. So speaking of which, he gets the ball again, and we talked about Rashdi's spin move, but when Don Shepard is spinning at you, that's a little bit scarier, isn't it?
And he's asking, you see Don Shepard throw up his arms there asking for a flag. I guess those heavyweight bouts are taking a toll on him.
And you can see part of his shirt kind of stays in the hands of the Anthony Van Dram, who had the tackle.
Yeah,
there.
but you can. And Donald is looking for a flag there, but that's not a hold in any way, right? He grabs off the flag, and the part of the shirt comes with it.
There's nothing you can do about that. Better just not to have a loose shirt, I guess. That brings up a first down after Donald Shepard's 8-yard grab. It is first down and 10, of course. And we've seen them always go in this base formation for Montreal's finest. Kevin Wyeth now looking to his left side on the sideline, has Keyshawn Thompson, makes a couple of juke moves but does not gain much yardage.
And it's nice to see Keyshawn contribute on offense as well. Keyshawn Thompson, if you ask anyone who's watched the finest over the years, this guy's the backbone of the team. Him and, of course, Karim Bennett and Mo Khan, these guys are the core. Ked Moore, they've been there since the beginning. Keyshawn obviously contributes on both sides of the ball, but over the years, with all the guys they've brought in to play offense, you see Keyshawn's role diminish on the offensive side of the ball. But like the team first type leader guy that he is, you'll never hear a peep out of him, complaining.
Bring up 2nd and 4, and Kevin Wyeth got a lot of room on the right here. If he could beat Jeff Beauchesne, but he can't. He gets a couple yards, he gets 5 yards on that run, and you'll see here he had a lot of room on the sideline.
And you'll see Kevin Wyeth do it again. We saw it on the first time that when he ran it in for a touchdown, Darren, there was some kind of mix-up between the central defender, which is P.O. Brunet, and his rusher, Jeff. They interfered with each other, actually, and Kevin Wyeth right away spotted that and took off the other way. It's that veteran savvy of Kevin Wyeth. Obviously, he's not a scrambler, Darren, by any stretch of the imagination, but he'll take what the defense gives him.
Definitely, and that was a very easy decision for him to make, and that will bring up first down and goal. Kevin Wyeth looking, and he's hit Keyshawn Thompson, the man you mentioned earlier, one of the members of the heart and soul of the Montreal's finest, for a quick touchdown, putting them up 33-20, and that is a huge score.
That's the one we were talking about, Darren. Obviously, as the Expos, you're watching this game. You think that if any team goes up by 2 scores in the second half, the chances of a comeback become less and less possible. So we'll see if the Expos can pull off a miracle here, but it's definitely looking not so likely.
Well, one thing's for sure right now, the Expos do have a little bit of time here,
Yeah,
so they can
absolutely.
still take their time on that drive and hope for a stop. As you see, Kevin Wyeth threw Rashdi Benabdikaiter's hands, and you see he is very frustrated with himself on
Yeah,
that.
it may have that fastball may have shaved off some hair from the top there on Rajdi as it went through his fingers.
Well, definitely, that's the kind of catch you expect Rashdi to make in most circumstances. That extra point being no good, the score is still 33-20 for Montreal's finest. First down for the Expos on their own 10 now, and Chad Byers surveying the field, and he goes deep, but it looks like Nathan Taylor.
The exact same play as earlier, Darren. The exact same play.
Same play.
That backside corner route from Ricky Martin. You see Nathan Taylor drop, make a great read on the defensive side of the ball, and you got to see the panic starting to set in a bit now. Maybe for the Expos, we've seen Chad Byers like butter just matriculate his way down the field all game. But obviously now the clock is working against the Expos, and we might see a few panic throws trying to haul the ball deep.
And we see them going back to the same well, whether it was that coffin corner as you called it, or now that route to Ricky Martin. Both times didn't work out for them as Chad Byers sets up, looks left down the field, and there's Anthony Vandram with a nice catch, and that's a name that I feel like I thought we would hear more of this game so far. Maybe they'll get it going in the late stages.
Yeah, absolutely.
He was a guy who put together a very big game for them in last year's finals, and he gets a 14-yard gain for the Expos offense, bringing up first down a little past midfield for the Expos. And Chad Byers waiting for the snap. He gets it, looking, surveying, goes wide open, is none other.
And he sneaks on in for Yves Berrios, sneaks in for a touchdown there on a missed flag.
You know what? I had started gearing up for the next play, and I couldn't believe that wasn't a flag. Very surprising. If you look
Let's
at
see
Yves
who
Berrios
missed
here, it looks like
Karim.
Nathan.
Karim Binet looks like he's the guy who missed a flag, which is a rare occurrence.
Well, definitely, of all the people, if I had to pick one to miss that tackle, I would be surprised it would be Karim.
Yeah, but you know what? That's it might be just with the break the Expos needed there. A quick score. Hopefully they can convert here for them and make a stop on defense.
Score is 33-26 now. Chad Byers under good pressure from Mo Khan, who kind of almost tackles him. It's intercepted by Nathan Taylor, who could be. I thought he was going to be able to bring it all the way back, but a big tackle
by Charpentier.
By
Good hustle on his
Charpentier
part.
to prevent that pick six that could have really put them in a big gap. It is a 7-point lead for Montreal's finest now, and this is it for the Expos. They need to stop.
Yeah, and absolutely. And on the Montreal finest side of things, we're going to see here, Darren, I'm sure some short completions, trying to milk the clock. Let's see what happens.
And Aked Moore finally getting into the action. I think that is his first catch.
That is his first catch of the day, and credit has to be given to Teddy Fournette. Like we said earlier in the game, he's locked up on Aked for most of the game, and we haven't heard a peep from him. Aked absolutely tore up the Demons defense, as you see me here walking with the trophy. He absolutely tore up the Demons defense last week. So great job for Teddy Fournette.
And we'll see now as Kevin Wyeth again going for quick passes, opting for quick passes. This time he goes on the sideline to Keyshawn Thompson, who gets a gain of 3, bringing up 3rd and 3 yards to get the first down for Montreal's finest. This will be a big play for the Expos defense.
Absolutely. And you got to think that Chad Byers and the other offensive guys on the sideline, obviously they're cringing watching this. They know that they need one more chance to put the ball into the end zone, but they need their defense to get a stop here. So big play for the Expos here on 3rd down.
This will be a big situation because if they get a stop here, you got to wonder if the finest will either be aggressive or maybe they'll punt, but the decision will have to be made after this play.
Absolutely.
As Kevin Wyeth awaits the snap, he's looking Don Shepard over the middle, and it's easier for us to see it from this bird's eye view, but he was really way too open in that situation.
Yeah, but it's tough, Darren, when everybody's hooking at the same depth there. It's tough, a guy like Kevin Wyeth is just going to find that open man and hit him.
And that open man has been Donald Shepard many, many times this game so far. Not an easy guy to stop.
Absolutely.
That was a big momentum gain for Montreal's finest and a momentum drain for the Expos. It's by no means over. They can still get a stop. There can still be an interception. There's still time on the clock for them to do what needs to be done, but the clock is their enemy, of course. Kevin Wyeth now looking to the left. Don Shepard kind of almost drops it, and that's kind of surprising.
That could have been
Shepard.
dangerous. Shepard makes a nice catch. The throw wasn't perfect. It was it was a little behind them, but the fact that he patted that ball up to himself, that's dangerous, Darren, because if an Expos player was in the vicinity, he could have easily intercepted that ball and possibly brought it back for 6.
Very, very lucky is Don Shepard on that one. Could have been worse. 5-yard gain, though. Kevin Wyeth now it's batted. Oh, wow. That was partially deflected by Jeff Beauchesne on the rush.
And who was that almost got his hands on the ball? I think it was Anthony Vandram.
It was Van Dram who was in coverage, almost intercepted the ball. And
That
like
would
we
have been
said,
huge.
It's a game of inches, and we say that it's said in tackle football, but it's just as true here in flag plus football. Van Dram, if he had been just a little bit closer, he might have gotten under that ball.
Absolutely, an interception there would have been exactly what the Expos needed. Let's see if they can still make a play on this down.
Well, they've got to be confident. They're still getting chances. Montreal's Finest hasn't put them away yet, and they are still down by 7 points. Still life for the Expos. As Kevin Wyeth prepares to receive the ball here, he is running. Is he going? Yes, he's going to run. And is he in the unbelievable? Did you ever think that you would see Kevin Wyeth run for 2 touchdowns in the same game?
Unreal, but you know what? There was no breakdown in the rush or anything like that. It's just missed tackles by the Expos. You got to think that, I think it was Teddy there that missed the first flag and another guy on the goal line. You can't let Kevin Wyeth score like that on a scramble to possibly put the last nail in the coffin.
Well, look, I sympathize with the Expos defenders. You're worrying about so many incredible
Of
receivers.
course.
That's the one thing you don't expect them to do, but you can't miss those tackles. That
You're
brings
right.
the score to 39-26. It is a 13-point lead for Montreal's Finest, and at this late stage of the game, that will pretty much seal it as we are waiting for the extra point from Kevin Wyeth.
Yeah, you never want to say it's over before it's over, but let's be honest. In Division 1, these guys know how to keep a lead, and I doubt there's going to be enough time for the Expos to come back.
No, and it is 40-26 now after that Keyshawn Thompson extra point conversion. We have, yes.
Yeah, so no, we got it. We're going to see if the Expos can really, can try to rush in and score before the 5 plays. That's their key.
They've got to do it right away. No huddle. Chad Byers looking to Jeff Beauchesne, and that is a situation where he gains some yards, and they are moving quick now.
Yeah.
No huddle.
Absolutely, and as if you're the Montreal's Finest defense, you'll give them that all day, right? I mean, they can't matriculate the ball down the field now. They got to score quickly.
Exactly, and so we'll see them as soon as Jeff Beauchesne gets that flag back on. He will be snapping the ball immediately. They have got to go quick as it is not 5 plays left yet. Chad Byers hits Anthony Van Dram for 6-yard gain on the left sideline. But there are now 5 plays left, and I think the Expos know that this game is over. I think we are going to see the game being flagged over by the head official, and that is your final. Montreal's Finest 40, Expos 26. A good attempt by the Expos in the latter stages of the second half, Rob, but they just fell short.
Yeah, it was a great game back and forth. You know what? At the end of the day, Darren, it comes down to those two big plays by Mo Khan, really. Those 4th down stops by the Montreal's Finest was all the difference here in this 14-point differential.
And really, it's like we say, and you said it before, every small error can be enough to stop it. Mo Khan comes up with 2 big stops. Obviously, their red zone defense was the difference for Montreal's Finest.
Absolutely. Huge plays at the right time. And you can't really, you can't blame the Expos in their offense. They got in close enough. They just couldn't convert.
And congratulations to the Expos for making this far, but congratulations to Montreal's Finest, Division 1 champions.
Joining me are the 2012 Winter Division 1 champions, Montreal's Finest. Rashti in the middle, supporting a trophy for everybody else. First, loud cheer for everybody. Finishing the season 9-1, most important, the playoffs. Let's go first with Donald Shepard. Second season with Montreal's Finest.
Yep.
The DEA Finest in the spring. Half shirt to go with the victory.
Yes.
How does it feel to be the Montreal's Finest Winter 1? Sorry, Division 1.
It's my
Winter
first Division 1 championship. I hope there's many more with the boys. So first, let's do this again. I love it. These guys are awesome to play with, and it was nice to be a part of it. It's awesome. I feel great.
Good. Moving on, let's go to probably a second contender for the playoff MVP, the way you played today.
Unbelievable.
It's funny.
Mo Khan!
It's funny because Mo Khan makes the big plays in the big games. Last being against Rick and Cherry, but in all honesty, Mo, you played a great game today. The stop your team needed on Chad Byers. But again, you're back after 2 years. Every year, you guys go far. Now you finally took that big step. I mean, obviously, the first question again. After Don is in the back imitating the beard, but how does it feel, Mo Khan?
It feels great. I mean, every year's harder, right? I mean, 2010 was tough. 2011 was tough. 2012 was even tougher, given how close competition was. I mean, we were lucky in a lot of games. We played well as a unit. I mean, Keyshawn and Karim and Rashti had a great game plan for the last 2 weeks, game planning, scheming, having us in the right position, and they put me in the right position to make the plays. That's all.
I'm sorry, Donald's making me crack up in the back, but well, any plans for 2013, or that's not revealed yet?
Let's enjoy this now, and then we'll worry about 13 afterwards.
How about spring season?
Oh, spring season, we'll worry about that afterwards. Enjoy this right now.
Afterwards, starting in 3 weeks.
Don't worry about that. Next guy.
All right, let's go with K-Tom,
Yep.
Keyshawn Thompson.
Yep.
in the press conference, when you were alone and Kareem kind of ditched you,
Yeah.
you held the fort on your own, and tonight you held the fort on the field.
That's right.
Big catches on offense, big plays on defense. What was the game plan going against a team like Expos, who had all the athletes in the world? They were talking about how they were playing really well this year. I mean, what was the scheme going against to try to hold Chad Bars to a minimum completions?
Well, basically, we have to respect our zone. He's a no-luck guy, and that's what we did. You have to respect your responsibility, and we did that today, and we came out victorious.
So, any thoughts for Mokan being maybe the second contender for played big today, Mokan?
I would have gave it to him. Kev got so many already, and it wouldn't hurt for Mo to get one. And yeah, he came up big for the team, man. 2 big stops, back down on 4th down and a sack on 4th down. That's the reason why we're holding the trophy up today. 120 teams, man, and we're considered the best out of all of them, baby. So
Indeed, they are the finest in Montreal.
that's it.
Let's go back to Rashti now, who's been trying to get some attention in the back. Yes, Rashti.
Hi, I'm sorry, I was busy with
Obviously, Rashti is trying to carry his Division 2 trophy where he beat Kevin Wyatt. And I think one of the only players who's won 2 division trophies in 1 and 2 ever in the winter, if I'm not mistaken.
Thank you.
So,
And you won a trophy also.
so now, joining Montreal's finest, obviously you started in the spring season.
Yes.
You were hurt, didn't play the whole year, came back,
Yes.
lost obviously triple sixers. Now this is the bigger stage.
Yes, sir.
Obviously, the most obvious question: how does it feel to be the Winter One final champion? Because
But
you
I-
never won the Winter One championship, right? Division
no,
1?
Actually, no. But then again, I was smart enough to join the best possible team, and I did not do anything. I just joined an amazing team, and that's why we won.
Now going back to next year, do you see this team coming back? There are some questions about maybe Paul LaPierre going to division or making the jump.
Yeah,
Do you
but
think it's something that you can consider?
I'm not sure about it because, like, they say that because we're a bit too strong for D1 now, so they say they might create a new division, and it's gonna be like the finest division. The only problem with this is I'm not completely sure if we can play against each other or a scrimmage. We still have to work on it, but depending on what's happening with Robert, I'll get back to you on
And
that.
if you have to pick one player, no, I'm just joking. But congratulations, Rashti, winning both. I mean, like I said, Division 2, Division 1.
Yes, sir.
Only player to win in the winter season. That is a very good accomplishment and achievement.
Thank you very much, sir. I appreciate it.
Let's find Kevin Wyatt now, who's he's a little upset at me because I'm kind of calling him out for the Division 2. But let's get Kevin Wyatt here a little bit now.
I don't like you. You keep fucking coming after me all the time.
No, but in all honesty, Kevin, I think what really set the game apart was the fact when you had those 2 rushing touchdowns, the second one, where
Yep.
they didn't expect you because you were more of a, stay in the pocket, make the passes, but then you kind of threw them off.
Yep.
What was the game plan going against an defense story and Expos who were, loaded with talent on defense as well?
Loaded the talent, but they play a lot of man, so it's easy to flood their areas and get them apart. And in the red zone, they used their tall rusher, but he was trying to bat the ball down. Made it easier for me to run.
What did you think about that interception when Jefferson
I
was
was really mad, really mad, but he made a great play. He made an awesome play, batted it up, caught it, and
Now, you've been with this team for the last 2-3 years, even
Yes.
more than that, and you've seen players come and go. Would this be the strongest Montreal's finest roster we've seen?
oh, I don't know. We've always had a good squad. I mean, Andre Knights was one of my awesome receivers, and he's here tonight, but I don't know. Yeah, it's probably one of the strongest. I can't say it's the strongest because they've all been good.
Adding Rashti Bandolkera and adding John O'Sheppel puts you over the top. Would that be the reason why you guys won this year?
No. I mean, not really. It's just we've had bad luck. Got out of our stump, and we're back.
So, any plans for 2012 spring or 2013 winter?
Don't know yet. Waiting on these guys. They call me. They let me know.
They call you, yeah. I'm sure they're not going to call Kevin Wyatt to play QB for them. But again, congratulations.
Thank you very
Playoff
much.
MVP as well, of course. Not the right trophy,
No,
But-
but you don't need to know that.
but an MVP nonetheless.
Yes, thank you very much.
Thanks again, Kevin. Congratulations.
Thank you.
As you can see, everybody's celebrating on the sideline. We'll let them be. But, we're going to go up to the post-game review with Darren now. And congratulations to the Montreal's finals for winning the 2012 Winter Division 1.
Welcome to the Division 1 Final Roadshow post-game show. What a game it was. Rayhan really, I would say, lived up to the hype. It was a very well-played game, and Montreal's finest are the Division 1 champions by a score of 40-26, joined by a very special guest right now. I don't know, is he in the shot? Mr. Cameraman, he is? Okay.
He's in the shot right now.
Mr. Mo Khan, fresh off the championship. I don't know what's going on. And Don Shepard launching footballs at our window as well. So everything is chaos right now. But Mo, let's get your thoughts before I get Rayhan's thoughts.
About what? Oh, the one.
About what? What do you think about what?
About
Division
the
1
tax
championship.
season.
Yeah.
So, long story short, Keyshawn, Karim, and Rosh, as I told Ray, had a great game plan for the last 2 weeks looking at Chad Bars in the offense. We know the Expos offense is very explosive and how they are very quick strike, or they can take their time as they did in the first half. And luckily for us, Keyshawn put me in the right position to make the plays on 4th down, and now we're the D1 champions.
We were getting to that. You kind of like, you blew our load here. I just wanted your thoughts here, you know, that's all. But
you can leave now.
Yeah, it's all right. All right.
Good night, Seattle.
All right, so obviously Mokan, very ecstatic, and as they should be. It was a really well-played game. Talk to me a bit first about your first impressions on this game.
I really thought that it was going to be a high-scoring game. I mean, Montreal's finest did reach 40-point mark. It was a 40-26 final. My first initial thought was, at the end of the first half, I think Marc Champagne made two big plays. One was a touchdown where he was all alone along the sidelines, and then afterwards it was the interception that he had on Chad Byers. So I thought it was back and forth, but Expos had their chances where he couldn't convert. A couple of drop passes in the end zone that really kind of came to bite them afterwards. So I think it was a well-played game, as you said, but at the end, Expos just couldn't catch up, and Montreal's finest pulled away.
And really, the turning point, Mokan alluded to it, and we'll be talking about it for a long time. And obviously, we like to mention Mo more because he's our friend, and we work with him and everything. But this time, you really can't deny it. This is a guy who came up big when it mattered most in this game. 2 huge plays on consecutive fourth downs to force turnovers on the Expos. Talk to me about those 2 plays and what your thoughts were watching that.
Well, I think the first thing I thought about when I saw Mo make that play was that it reminded me back to the Hurricanes championship when he sacked Nick Cherry. Hey, Mokan is a big-time player, and the thing is, I always told Mokan is, I think he is able to make these kind of plays if he's able to just focus. And I think, a guy like Chad Byers, he didn't give enough chance to run, and like I said, lo and behold, one was a tip ball, and one was a sack. So I think Mokan came through really big for his team, and I think he wanted that championship probably more than anybody else.
We'll finish up on Montreal's finest a little bit later. We'll get back to it. But first, let's talk about the Expos, too. 3 straight finals, 3 straight championship losses. What does this team have to do to get over that championship hump?
I don't think they have to do that much because we said the same thing about Montreal's finest a couple of years ago. And, all they kept on doing was, adding players to their roster to get a bit stronger. This year, obviously, adding Rashti and Ben Abdelkader might have been the difference for them. But I think for the Expos, it's the same thing. They've added players each year, and now they've actually kind of had a similar roster to last year's winter finals. But, again, couple of drop passes here and there just didn't go in their favor. But I think if I'm the Expos, you don't change too much. It's a good recipe. It got you into the finals 3 years in a row. The last 2 years were very close, and maybe, like I said, I like the Montreal's finest. Maybe the next time will be their turn.
And now let's go back to Montreal's finest. We can't go any further without talking about the playoff MVP.
You really can't, and it's kind of funny because I was kind of toying with Kevin White on the field saying, how Rashti has won 2 in a row, and Rashti beat him in the Division 2. But if you watch Kevin White's play today, it was perfection. When he knew that the defense was buckling down on the receivers, he made a couple of runs. He had 2 rushing touchdowns, which is a very big play, especially at the end, to kind of put the game away. So I think Kevin White, we always know that he comes up big in big games. He made the plays when they counted. One unfortunate interception, which he wasn't happy about himself. But again, when you face a rusher like Jeff Beauchene, it's kind of hard to throw the ball.
That was an incredible play where he batted it to himself, basically. A kind of play we haven't seen since G-Man in the spring with Stéphane Azoulay way back when.
That's it.
But really, from Montreal's finest, so much to take out of this game. And I think Keyshawn Thompson said it best at the end when you were interviewing him. He said, there's over 100 teams in this league, and they're the best. And you said it, I think, the most best way. They are literally Montreal's finest.
They are the finest team in flat coast football that Montreal has to offer, and I think if you look at their roster, it's very hard to argue that.
And what does Montreal's finest do now to keep this competitive edge? People are going to be gunning for them again. What do they have to do to make sure that they don't fall into that kind of black hole that they did after winning that championship in 2009?
I think it's tough to answer that question because, like the Expos, like the Montreal's finest, this is a team that's built to win every year. I mean, I don't think last teams was any less talented than these guys. The year before wasn't any less talented than these guys. Every year they have a solid roster. There's really any weaknesses. I think the only difference this year might have been that I think adding Rashti might have given that extra edge on defensive scheming, defensive game plans that might have helped them out. But other than that, it's been the same talented roster year after year. So I think if I'm them, just keep doing what you're doing. A couple of years ago was just one last play that kind of took them out, but this year they were able to come over that.
And speaking of Rashti, he gets the honor of playing in 2 different All-Star games, which you're technically not allowed to do, but under the new format where the All-Stars play against the champions, he's playing in 2 of them, which I don't know when the next time we'll see that is. Also, double championship winner this year. Very impressive as well.
Exactly.
And of note, Don Shepard's first Division 1 championship.
Well, also keep in mind, we've mentioned, and Robert Campana, our president, he mentioned that how there's a couple of players who have a chance to win 2 championship trophies, and I think it's very impressive to say that Rashti Van Abdelkader winning Division 1 and Division 2 is the first player in the winter who's won the highest level 1 and 2. So that's very impressive, and I think both teams he's been an integral part. And I think that's why Montreal's finals went and got him, because they knew with him he would make the difference.
And that's why he's a Hall of Famer. Final thoughts, Rehan, on the Division 1 season, on this game, basically on everything.
I think it was a good season overall, as we mentioned in the beginning of this coverage. That Division 1, you saw pretty much Montreal's finest Expos be on the top 1-2. But I mean, if you look back at the semifinals against Demons, you could have easily said that Demons could have been a team that could have been here today. So it was a 1-point difference there. And obviously, other teams had strong performances. Old School came a little short. But they could be a team that'll be back in the future. Rainmakers as well, Red Hawks had subpar seasons, but I think Division 1 has gotten so much better now, and we really hope in the next upcoming year, starting with winter 2013, that some players from Div 2 might take that leap up and make a bit more parity for every other team.
Yeah, I think it would be a great thing for the league as a whole and for Division 1 as well. See some new blood.
Exactly.
All right, it's that time again for the thank yous. We'll try and keep this one relatively short. I know we always go long.
It's like the Oscars speech. Some people just ramble on. Some people do it short. It really depends.
Well, the light is going on and they're about to start the orchestra. So let's do this quick. Thank yous. Obviously, first off, we'll go to Mokan for holding down the seat as host throughout the Weppel and obviously for the road shows as well. Thanks go out to you, Rehan, and to Don Shepard for your excellent job on the Weppel as always, and to Don for his article as well. A special side thank you to Mokan, who does so much work preparing everything, and for the roadshow as well was a huge part of the preparation. And I think he deserves to be recognized for that. Beyond that, also to everybody who works for FPF, all the scorekeepers, stat guys, people who input the stats, and the video guys as well. Vadim, Eddie Tarabay, they all do their part and make this as much fun for you guys to watch as it is for us to be a part of it. And most importantly, we want to thank you guys, the fans, the guys who take the time to write on the Facebook walls, write emails to the guys who are involved with this league, come up and stop us. It's always a pleasure to talk to you guys, and we're always happy to know that you guys are enjoying what we're doing, so keep that feedback coming. And
I think there's a couple of guys who forgot. I mean, we'll wrap it up quickly because I think time is of the essence a little bit. But obviously, I hosted most of the Weppels with GM Coletras. Another guy I want to give
we're
a
just
shout
doing
out
D1 now. Those guys don't matter right now. Dana and Coletras get their own love in the lower divisions.
But no, it's I think thanks to referees, thanks to obviously you, Darren. I mean, we know how busy you are in your schedule. You came out today and we're able to help out since Mokan was playing. So thanks to you as well. And obviously the man.
And the man with the vision.
The man with the vision. The man who makes it all happen, and the man who's behind all the scenes. Robert Campana, of course. But I think another quick touch up on what you said, Mokan. He does so much work behind the scenes that no one notices. So you really got to give him that credit.
All right, I think his head's gonna be too big now, and it's too much complimenting Mokan. That's enough.
Maybe a future Hall of Famer, Mokan.
We'll see. All right, so we're getting the signal from our cameraman that perhaps this is dragging on too long. So we will cut it short, and I will allow you the great honor, Rehan, of giving me my own magic words.
Yeah, because this all started with you in the beginning. So that is it from us here at the weekly Extra Point Live Roadshow 2012 winter season. We'll see you in spring season, but until then.
Good night, Division 1, and congratulations to the Montreal's finest Division 1 champions. Truly, Montreal's finest.
And wait for it, we the best.
Watch me not stop, though.